Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Yes, I am ready for the event.
Saga Space and Science Museum, this is Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Tio in Saga. How do you hear me?
I read you loud and clear. よく聞こえますよ。
さあ、それでは古川さん、こちらは佐賀です。
Dr. Furukawa, this is Saga. The hall is packed with so many people. First, we want to greet you all together.
いきますよ。せーの。
Mr. Dr. Furukawa, good evening.
こんばんは。元気のいいご挨拶ありがとうございます。
Good evening, all, everybody. I hear your voice, loud, nice. I saw Kyushu from the space when we passed over a little while ago. So, Dr. Furukawa, we have a lot of questions for you. My name is Taiki Nishida. When you are back on the ground, why do you need to do rehabilitation?
はい、とてもいい質問ですね。体の中の
Thank you for a good question.
いろんな感じる重力、体の感覚とかを感じるのが、無重力に慣れてしまってるんですね。
The human senses
感覚を感じるところがあるんですけど、
are used to the weightlessness when you spend much time in this space. So when you are back on the ground, your body needs to get used to the environment with gravity. So when you move in the gravity, sometimes you feel dizzy. So that's why you have to take time to do the rehabilitation to go back to your normal body state. My name is Kawahara Yuka. What is your favorite star or constellation? Can you see it from the ISS?
はい、好きな星や星座はスバルとオリオン座が好きです。とても美しく
I love Pleiades and Orion. They're nice and bright. And of course, I can see them from the ISS, but they're not twinkling. I can see so many stars from the spacecraft, but they're not twinkling because there's no atmosphere, no air. So they may be more beautiful to look at from the ground. Up in the space, do you get the same disease as you do on the ground? Does an injection feel painful in weightlessness as you do on the ground?
はい、同じような病気にかかることはあります。でも、健康
Yes, we do get the same disease.
しっかり健康に管理しているので、宇宙飛行士はほとんど病気
But
にはかかりま
if
せ
you
ん。
take care of your body conditions well enough, and we usually do, we hardly get any disease at all. When the other crew coming from the ground to join us, they usually have a very serious body checkup beforehand. Yes, the injection does feel painful. My name is Nanami Tanaka. Are there the morning, the daytime, and the night in the space or in the spacecraft? What is the morning like up there?
はい、いい質問ですね。みんなの昼間と夜っていうのは太陽
Thank you for a good question.
暗い時が夜だと思う。
When you say the morning, daytime, and night, well, you usually mean that when the sun is up, the daytime, or when it's down at the night. But the ISS orbits at a very fast speed. It takes only 90 minutes to make one orbit around the Earth. So you have many sunrises and sunsets, and of course you cannot get up and go to bed every time you have sunrise and sunset. So usually use the GMT time. So your body starts to feel the morning. We usually live in the room without any windows, but the body adjusts itself to the environment. Thank you very much for a very good medical question. My name is Nogami, Kotaro Nogami. I want to be an astronaut in the future. What do I need to do the most to become one?
はい、質問ありがとう。仲間と力を合わせて一緒に仕事をすることだと思います。
Learn to work together with your friends, with your colleagues from all different countries, not only the astronauts, and you also work with various other kinds of people who does different tasks. Working in a team is very important. My name is Ryusei Ueno. I learned the universe is in a vacuum. So I did an experiment by taking out the air from a plastic bottle to make a vacuum inside it. The bottle crashed. Why doesn't the same thing happen to the universe? Why don't the stars get closer to one another?
はい、実験してみるっていうのはすごくいいことですね。それからそれに基づいていろいろ考えてみることだと思います。
And it's also good to think based on the results of the experiment. It's a good scientific experience. In a PET bottle, that of course inside becomes vacuum, but outside it still stays not the vacuum state. So the air creates the pressure. So that's why the plastic bottle crashes. So if there is a kind of air, the atmosphere, like you have outside the plastic, outside the universe, that the same thing could happen, but that's not the case. The universe is expanding constantly. We don't know why and how it is happening. So it's actually you who will explore to find out the reason why, the cause. My name is Michikashiwa. Have you ever been to Saga Prefecture or Takeo City? Can you see Saga Prefecture from the space?
はい、質問ありがとう。佐賀はまだ行ったことないんです。
Thank you for the question. I've never been to Saga.
には行ったことがあるんですけども。
I've been to Fukuoka Prefecture on business trip. Yes, from the space we can see Saga Prefecture. We saw Ariake Sea very clearly. I'd love to visit Saga one day. Taiki Nishida again. Will the ISS ever fall onto the ground?
いい質問ですね。実はこんがらがらせちゃうかもしれない。
Another good question. Thank you. I don't want to make it complicated, but the ISS is falling towards the Earth. To be quite honest, if you throw a ball, if you throw it slow, it will make a curve. But if you throw it very fast enough, like Ichiro, it moves in a straight line. And if you throw a ball fast enough, instead of falling onto the ground, the ISS traveled or the orbit around the Earth at a speed of about 8 kilometers per second. Another good question. Thank you very much. Another question. Next question. When you come back to the ground, what do you want to do first?
はい、質問ありがとう。まずは、家
Thank you.
族とか友人と友達と会いたいです。そ
First,
れから日常の生活で
I
は
want to see my family, my friends,
宇宙だと無重
and I
力
want to
水が
get a good hot
た
bath.
まらないんです。ですからお風呂に
In
入
the
れません。
space,
お風呂に入りた
we
いと思い
don't
ます。
get or fill the bathtub with the water. So when I go back to the ground, I want to take a bath, hot bath. I want to eat a lot of nice and fresh vegetables and fish. This is all the question we wanted to ask you from the Saga. So now switch it over to Takayama village. Dr. Furukawa, good evening. My name is Higuchi at the Takayama village in Gunma Prefecture. My name is Satomi Ueki. I'm the member of the Takayama Space Expedition Hikaru project. I, together with the other members, made preparations by studying the space and the ISS to ask questions. Here we have a question for you. So let us now begin. Mayukami Ide. While in the space, do you sometimes feel glad that you are a medical doctor?
はい、ありますよ。科学の実験で
Yes,
仲間の血を取ったりと
I
か、
do.
あるいは
When I do a scientific experiment, I take blood from my colleagues and put it on an ultrasonic
技術が役に立ちました。また、仲間が
devices,
万が一
and
病気になってしまっ
that
た
is the
時
time I use a lot of knowledge and skills
治療をしたり
which I
すること
acquired
可
in
能
the
性があるん
training
です。
to be a medical
実際
doctor.
ませんけど、万が一そういうことになっても
And
病院でやってきた仕事を活かせるので、
you
仲間
do
に安心感を持ってもらえ
get
ています。
sick.
それが
You
とても
could get sick
役に
in
立
this
って嬉し
space,
いことで
but
すね。
I am trained as a medical doctor, so if that happens, I can be very useful and help my colleagues. My name is Nanako Hirakata. When you're up in the space for the first time, how did you feel? What do you enjoy in the space? What are the things you can enjoy only in the
打ち上げ
space?
の時のロケットが9分間ぐらいで止まった時にふわっと体が浮く感じがしてこう無重
And
力
the
になったん
rocket
ですね。
stopped
で、
that came to a halt after 9 minutes after the liftoff, and my body lifted, and I felt I was in the space. And finally, my dream came true after a long time studying and training. What I enjoy in space is the floating like this. If you just put against the wall, you can actually float anywhere you want. And of course, and enjoy the view from the windows of the spacecraft. My name is Hazuki Ino. What experiments do you carry out in the keyboard?
はい、いろいろな実験を行ってますけど、一つだけ紹介させてくださ
I
い。
do carry out various
タンパク質の結晶
experiments.
成長実験っていうのをして
Let
ます。
me
無重力
tell you about
地上
one.
よりも良いタンパク質が
I
できるんです
work
ね。
on the
で、
protein
それを使って
development.
がんを治すことに
And
関
up in the
係したタン
space,
パ
we
ク質
can
を作り
we
ました。
can make the
そ
better
れを地
quality
上に持ち帰って
proteins
詳しく
than
調
on
べ
the
る
Earth.
ことによって
I get
3次元
samples
でのタンパク質
made in the
の
space
構造が
back
分か
to
る
the
んですね。
ground,
で、それを使って
and so that we can actually explore the more detailed structure of protein in 3 dimensions.
新しい薬を
So it is like to finding a hole in the big door. We can come up with a good solution to make a good medicine to treat cancers. That's one of the experiments I do up here. My name is Nen Honjo. Our village has a special rule to control levels of illumination so that we can observe the stars well. Isn't the Japanese archipelago too bright, much brighter than the other parts of the world?
はい、日本は確かに、ある程度明るいんですけども、外国でも明るいところが
Well,
たくさんあります。
Japan
特に大きな
appears
都市はやはり
bright,
明るいですね。
but
人がたくさんいるからだと思います。
So do other parts of the world, probably because there are many people living in big cities. Those cities usually appear very bright. So Japan is not particularly brighter than the other parts. My name is Saki Sato. Seen from the space, what is the most noticeable problem about the Earth's environment?
はい、鋭い質問ですね。やはり砂漠とかが増えているこ
That
と
is
でしょう
also
か。
a very good and sharp question.
私は初めての人なので
Desertification is one
な
thing.
いんですけども、
I must say, this is my first flight, so I can't really compare how it was in the past. But I've seen the photographs taken in the previous missions. So I can say that the desert is expanding in areas. We have to take good care of the earth. My name is Natsuki Ino. When you successfully took pictures of auroras from the space, from the first time in the world, how did you feel?
はい、すごいなと思いました。それはそのカメラがすごいんですね。というのは、
I was excited and thrilled, and I was really impressed by the camera.
カメラでは撮れなかったんです。それが我々の目
But
で見る
usually camera couldn't capture the things we human eyes can see.
で、これは
But
すごいこと
the camera I used
技術の進歩というのはすごいな。
was so precisely made
どうもありがとう。
thanks to the scientific advances. Thank you. My name is Sota Tsuzuki. How do you feel looking at the Earth from the space?
我々の美しい故郷すごいんだなと思いました。そこにこの地球があるそのすごい存在
I think the Earth is a home, and a beautiful home.
美しい地球を
It's a great sense of
守ってい
existence.
かないといけないんだなっていうのをすごく強く思いま
We
した。
want to save and protect and cherish our home, Earth. My name is Musashi Karasawa. Do plants grow at a different speed, at a different rate in the space
いい質問ですね。
than on the ground?
詳しい実験を
Thank you for a good question.
日本の
I'm carrying out an experiment to find out concerning the plant's growth. And a similar experiment is also done in the Russian lab and US lab as well. How they grow, how the roots grow, and how the buds open. On the ground, the roots goes down and the bud goes out. But in the weightlessness, they don't move in the same way. We observe how the plants grow up in the space. When we go to the moon and to Mars, and probably we will need to learn how to grow vegetables. In that sense, the experiment we are carrying out is very important. My name is Kazuya Hirakata. What do you find inconvenient living in weightlessness?
はい、いい質問ですね。不便なことは
Good question. Thank you.
どうして
What I find inconvenient is weightlessness itself. Sometimes it is fun, but and everything floats. For example, have you noticed that the pencil which I was holding a little while ago is gone? It's gone behind the camera. Down on the ground, if you put a pencil on the table, it stays there, but up in the weightlessness, it doesn't happen that way. Dr. Furukawa, thank you very much indeed for answering these questions. So would you please say a few words, a message to the people gathered at the Takayama Astronomical Observatory this evening? I hear that from Takayama Village you can see many stars in the sky, and I hope that you will maintain or sustain that environment, beautiful natural environment. Thank you very much for a good time. I enjoyed talking with you. Dr. Furukawa, thank you very much for answering our questions. I wish you the best for your happy, healthy, and successful stay in the ISS. Mr. Furukawa, thank you very much. When you come back to Japan, please come and visit us in Takayama Village. We're waving goodbye to you, Dr. Furukawa.
ありがとうございました。元気をいただきました。
Thank you very much indeed. You get me a lot of energy. Thank you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes the event.